Hello, it's Robert Fithen, and welcome to Hot Ones, my tribute to the Hot Ones show with Sean Evans. This is the one where we have very, very hot sauce, and instead of hot questions, very hot albums this time around. That's what I'm going to be doing. Albums with hot in the title. Before we get to any of these sauces, though, and I do have a lot of them to talk about here, I want to start off by just talking about Hot Rocks, the two compilations from the Rolling Stones. You got Hot Rocks and More Hot Rocks, and wow, with these 4 discs, you have pretty much a lot of incredible music here. This is a party right here. That's what this is. This is the big one, though, of course, Hot Rocks. Pretty much everybody had this, or they should, if they don't have the entire Rolling Stones collection. Of course, there's all kinds of great Rolling Stones album tracks that are incredible, not on here, but this is all the big hits. And this spans from 64 to 71. So it's basically a London label. This doesn't have any of their mid or late 70s or 80s stuff on here. But it does have quite a bunch of hits. And then this is the follow-up, More Hot Rocks. All in chronological order on each one of these, except for this one. If you want true chronological order, you've got to play side 4 first. It's really strange how they laid this out. You play side 4 and then 1, 2, and 3. Great gatefolds with these, and just loaded with all the great Rolling Stones songs. Honky Tonk Women, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Time Is On My Side, Paint It Black, 19 Nervous Breakdown, all the great ones. Get Off My Cloud. Of course, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. On this one, you have the follow-up with like lesser known stuff. Let It Bleed is on here, Not Fade Away, early covers and stuff like that. But 2 great albums. I'm not going to spend too much time on compilations. Just because there's way a lot of compilations there. There's all the stuff that's like hot hits and hot tracks and hot shots from Trooper. Although I will say hot tracks though from Nazareth. Got to give it up for this one. Rest in peace, Dan McCafferty, who just passed away, lead singer of Nazareth. Just because Nazareth is kind of special to me because they were my first hard rock group when I was about 5 years old. My brother had this 8-track and the 8-track for Hair of the Dog, which is I actually prefer Hair of the Dog to this compilation, but just so many great songs on there. But this one's loaded with their, songs from a bunch of albums. Hair of the Dog, the song, of course, on here, and Love Hurts and all that. But yeah, I got to give it up to Nazareth Hot Tracks. But that's enough with the compilation. Now on, we'll just focus on studio albums with hot in the title, not songs with hot in the title, because, there's like a million of those. None of these have been opened, so I don't know what any of these taste like. We're starting off with the classic maple hot sauce that they always have on Hot Ones. And I will say that a lot of these on here are actually from the current season of Hot Ones. So, there's a few in here that are mixed in that aren't, like these 2 right here. These are straight out of Walmart. Very easy to find. I wanted to put some mainstream stuff on here. But this is kind of like, what is this? A Scoville of like, I think like 1600 or something. So not too bad. Got my chicken here. Let's do this and try not to make a big-ass mess. And I'm just, oh man, I just poured that all over. Okay, we're going to try the classic one first. This is supposed to be, like 1600, no big deal. I'm going to be very honest, too. I do not work for Hot Ones or Hedonist or anything like that, so brutally honest, no reason for me to hype these up. But this one's got a little bit of heat to it. I thought this was going to be more sweet, but a little bit of heat going on there. Set that right there. Okay, so we're moving on with the hot ones. The albums are going to get hotter as the sauces get hotter. Almost, relatively, anyway. Maybe not. We'll start with this one. This one's pretty cold. I've talked about this one before from the Standells from L.A., even though they have that song about being from Boston. Totally confused me. I thought they were from Boston. They're from L.A. And, yeah, this is just a bunch of covers. They do like a covers album of like the current hits, not like covers that like influence them or, anything like that. These are ones that were out at the time, like Summer in the City and Black is Black is on here. Wild Thing cover, Sunny Afternoon from the Kinks. Last Train to Clarksville, the Monkees start this off. Not very punk, proto-punk rock from these guys who had the, oh, Boston, the Dirty Water song. Not a fan of this at all. Not very hot. Hot Ones. From the Standells. Okay, so we're moving on here. Totally Hot from Olivia. Again, more kind of saucy than hot. This is interesting because this came out in 1978, the same year that Grease did. And this is kind of, her like career kind of mimicked what she was doing in Grease. Like she started off like nice, innocent, sweet girl. Had all those country songs like Please Mr. Please, and I Honestly Love You, and If You Love Me, Let Me Know, and Come On Over, and Let It Shine, and all those nice songs. I grew up with all those. And then, like, when Grease came out and she turns from that into, like, Sandy with the leather on, she goes leather in her full career here, too. So she's all leathered up on the front of this. Again, same year as Grease. It's got some minor hits on here, like Deeper Than the Night is on here. A Little More Love is on here. I don't think this is one of her best albums. It's definitely not Physical, which comes out after this. But just a little note about an album like this. Sometimes albums come with these really stiff, like, inner sleeves that are not paper. They're kind of cardboard. I would not recommend keeping your records in these. I usually have, like I re-sleeve them for the, like a poly sleeve or something like that. Because when you keep them in sleeves like this, they can damage the record. They get little hairline scratches on them and stuff like that. It's basically like keeping them in an album with no inner sleeve at all. So I don't re-sleeve all my albums, and I don't put the sleeve behind the album like some freak, but I will re-sleeve a lot of the ones that have the harder cardboard thing. All right, let's move on. This one is called Jalapeno. Jalapeno here, and this has a rating of 2,500. So again, kind of hot. We're moving up a little bit here. Let's try this one. I'm not using chicken wings. I'm using like little chicken nuggets or popcorn chicken or whatever you want to call it. This is, I don't want a bunch of bones and stuff laying around. Man, it's really hard to get this like right on here. This is kind of thick, actually. This is green too. I don't know if you saw that. Kind of a green thing. Kind of like a... Okay, that was nothing. There's no taste to that at all. Jalapeno. Stay away from jalapeno if you like taste. Honorable mentions, I'll be throwing those in too. Like Chicago Hot Streets. What is up with this release? I never got Chicago Hot Streets. Chicago, if you know, they list all of their albums their albums are just numbers, like, right, Chicago, and then, Chicago, and then Chicago 3, Chicago 4, Chicago 5, Chicago 6, Chicago 7, Chicago 8, Chicago 9, Chicago 10, Chicago 11, Hot Streets, Chicago 13, Chicago 14. It goes all the way up to like 22 or something like that. But Hot Streets, which would have been number 12, is it's called Hot Streets. I think it's the only Chicago album too that has a picture of the band on it, and not some like cool artwork. So I don't know why they did that. It was right after Terry Kath passed away. We won't get into that. He just passed away. We'll leave it at that. And it came out and in the disco era, 1978. So it's disco Chicago, but it's not all disco, and it's not all bad either. This album got horrible reviews and stuff like that. It's not bad, really, like horrible. I think it's basically just kind of a disappointment. It's not like, terrible or anything. I mean, and there is a little bit of disco in there. There's a little bit of a England Dan and John Ford Coley sound in there. I think the big single was called No Tell Lover, but it's definitely not like the first Chicago album you want to listen to, or one of the first 10. Here's a hot one. The Soup Dragons Hot Wired from 1992 or 93 or something like that, from Scotland. But they sound more like they're from Manchester. They have that kind of early 90s EMF type, sound, Lightning Seeds and stuff like that. These guys, I think, would have been more successful. They had a hit from the other album before this called Love God, a remake of the Rolling Stones' I'm Free. So you might know that one. This one had the Define thing on it, and it wasn't that big of a hit, but I think that the lead singer really over-enunciates. He's kind of like, well, you're divine. It's kind of like every song is like that. Marty coughing. From imitating that guy. Everlasting. It's a pretty cool song on here. There's some decent tracks on here. Forever Yesterday kind of slows things down. But overall, a lot of the songs sound the same, and they got that annoying, over-enunciated vocal. So, Hot Wired from the Soup Dragons. They were around for like maybe 4 or 5 albums and then kind of went away. But what was I doing here? What's next? I got the notes here for these. The Fiery Diablo with a 2,500 Scoville as well. Okay, I cannot get this open, so we might have to cut away here while I go get a knife or something. I could just talk about another honorable mention while I'm trying to get this open. Okay, Foxy Hot Numbers. there's a disco band that had the album called Hot Numbers, and they had a song called Get Off that was pretty big for a while, you know, and it's called Get Off, so it's kind of controversial. On this one, the song is Hot Numbers, which I actually prefer. It's like Midnight Rise, whoa, hot numbers. We're outnumbered, yeah, you're outnumbered, woo! Yeah, we all know that one, right? Okay, time for some fiery Diablo. Let's see how this goes. This one's a little more of that orangish red kind of. It's what I call Hooters, the Hooters color with their hot sauces. Usually means it's not high quality when it's got that orange look to it. Fiery Diablo. Okay. Fiery Diablo. It's more like sweet Diablo. And I do have my water here, just in case things get out of control. And there's no shame here. I'm definitely not above drinking some water. Moving on with more hot albums. Hot Pants from James Brown. Now, why isn't this much hotter, right? Well, because he lies right here on the cover. Somebody just contains the original hit single Hot Pants. No, it doesn't. I hate when they do this. I love the song Hot Pants, by the way. Hot Pants make you want to dance, you know. It's kind of like what Eddie Murphy, I think, based the hot tub thing off of on Saturday Night Live. But anyway, great song, Hot Pants. But if you like that song, you heard it on the radio, you had the 45, and you wanted it on the album. When you play this album, you find out that it's not the same version. This is kind of like a looser, jazzier version. It's not nearly as good as the single, and it makes a point to say that it is the hit single. No, it's not. James Brown changed changed record labels right before this came out, and so you know, I guess he wanted to re-record it, try to fool people, but yeah, it's not nearly as good. Stick with that single or on a comp or something like that, because that's the better one. It does have escapism on here. That's pretty cool. That's where they're just kind of clowning around in the studio, laughing about stuff with each other with this great funk beat going on. Real loose stuff on here. Only has like, I think, 4 tracks. We've got another album, funk album, kind of with 4 tracks coming up, if you can guess what that is, with Hot in the title. But yeah, Hot Pants from James Brown, kind of a disappointment, actually. Another honorable mention, the Pointer Sisters, Hot Together. This is after they quit this was the first album that didn't have any like top 10 hits on it from these guys for quite a while, or these ladies. The single was called Gold Mine. It's not very good. You know, my baby's gold mine, or I don't even really remember it. You know what? Stick with Breakout. That's the Pointer Sisters you want. With I'm So Excited, the hit version on here, and Automatic, and Neutron Dance, Jump for My Love. They're all on here. There's like 3 different versions of this, by the way, because they kept remixing stuff and re-releasing it. So you can collect all 3 like Taylor Swift. Pointer Sisters Breakout is the one you want. Not Hot Together. Or this one. You know, this one's good too, a little bit earlier. Or you can do this one. If you want to get a really early one, there's this one. Even earlier, there's this one. I got a lot of Pointer Sisters. This one has Fairy Tale on it that was remade by Elvis Presley, believe it or not. Elvis Presley and the Pointer Sisters have a song in common. I even have Serious Slammin', which we probably want to kind of stay away from. Another honorable mention, Angel, White Hot. Now that's not to be confused with Hot Angel of the Morning. That's a totally different thing. This is White Hot from the band Angel that gave us that awesome kind of Atari video game sounding song called Tower. That's not on there. What's on here is the winter song that actually made my video for my favorite singles from 1977 if you want to check that out. But the winter song on something called White Hot doesn't really make a lot of sense. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is an official Hot Ones from season 19. And this is the Los Calientes one. And the Scoville on that, we're jumping up here. This is where it's going to start getting serious. 33,000, okay, for this one. So let's try this out. Oh, I forgot to shake it up, as the cars would say. Yeah, it's getting serious now. We just made a major leap. I don't know what those 2 wimpy ones were. Actually, the first one, the Hot Ones one with the maple, was actually hotter than than the 2 that followed it. So here's where we start getting fun here. This is dark, and this is thick. Okay, you can see I'm actually putting it on there. Oh wow, that's got a really good taste to it. I'm gonna leave that up there. It's like a barbecue thing. Nice. Not so nice. The cover of this, Neil Diamond's Hot August Night. What in the hell are they thinking with this cover? What the hell is it? What is he doing? I know I'm not the first person to talk about this because it's like a thing. But seriously, like, what is, what's going on here? It looks like he's got a huge ass, it looks like he's masturbating, basically, and he's very well endowed. I mean, that's way past, that's like stomach level. So, I mean, that's a two-hander with like 2 hands worth of space in between. I mean, you can't tell me they couldn't come up with a better photo than that. You know, even if that is really him in concert from the night that this happens, there's another one. You can't tell me they were like, okay, we got 70 photos here. That's the best. Look at that face. Look at the face he's making on there. It's just very strange. And people were like, oh, he's playing an air guitar. He's really emoting there. No, look at his hand is literally cupped. What the hell is going on? This was a big, huge live album, though. A lot of people had this, and I can't. There's things you can't explain, and I never got an explanation as to why that was chosen for the cover. But Hot August Night, Cherry Cherry, the live version was, I think, the single off this, but it has all kinds of, you know, the Brother Loves Traveling Show and Sweet Caroline. The audience doesn't know yet to go bum bum bum, so nobody does that. But you know, big critically acclaimed live album from Neil Diamond. I think I might have said, did I say Neil Young? I might have. Another, get rid of that now. Another honorable mention here. We got Spoon with Hot Thoughts. Hot Thoughts. That sounds funny after saying Hot Sauce. Hot Thought. Hot Thought from Spoon from 2017. This made a lot of people's lists for one of the best albums of 2017. It's got that song on there, Do I Have to Talk You Into It? And it's got that line in there that's like, when words get stuck on the tip of my tongue, and it sounds just like Devo's Girl You Want. I don't know if Devo got paid for that or whatever, but it's got a really cool song on here called Kick Pink, or Pink Up. don't kick Pink. Pink Up is a great song on there, but yeah, these guys, Spoon, they got a few albums out, and this is one of their best. Hot Thoth, as we continue with the Hot Thoth that we're doing here. I don't have a lot of hot country albums. There's this one. There's 19 hot country requests. As you can see, this is volume 3. So there were 3 of these in the mid 80s. These came out. And these have all the CBS Epic Columbia artists on here, like Mickey Gilley and George Jones and Charlie McClain and, you know, Ricky Van Shelton, all kinds of people like that. And the thing is you think, oh, 19 hot, this is pretty good. Look at all the songs on there, all a bunch of hits, right? And no, this is a single album. So each one of them is called 19 Hot Country Hits, or country requests, and they try to put 19 songs on one record, just like the old K-Tel days. It doesn't sound great. It sounds okay. Ricky Skaggs on here too, Willie Nelson on here, but this does not sound incredible. I will just leave it at that. If you have one of those and listen to it, you got to have a pristine copy of that, or you're going to hear every little click and pop because the grooves are so tight together. Okay. Let's switch to this one now. This is, I can't read that. I don't have my glasses. I'm going to just get my glasses before too long. This is the Flyby Jing Sichuan Gold Hot Sauce. We're bumping it up to 46 Scoville rating. And this is kind of translucent. You can see right through this. It kind of looks like just water with red food coloring in it or something. Let's see how this goes. Got the chicken popcorn chicken, chicken nuggets. I'm already doing the coughing thing. Got my water though. I haven't had a drink yet. That's different. It's hot, but it's different. A little bit of different flavor, different kind of thing going on there. Salt and pepper. They had Hot, Cool, Vicious, another honorable mention, because honorable mentions means I don't have it. Hot, Cool, Vicious, you got to watch out. If you like the song Push It from Salt and Pepper, push it. Okay, you like that song? Got to watch this album, though, because it's not on early copies of this. It's only on later pressings. So if you're going to get Hot, Cool, and Vicious and you like Push It, make sure Push It's on there, because it's one of those things where, you know, they re-release it later and put the hit single on there and go, oh, yeah, we should put the hit on here. And then they do. Here's one, Red Hot Chili Peppers, 1 Hot Minute. 1995. This is the one that followed up Blood Sugar Sex Magic. This has Aeroplane on it. Yeah, this has Aeroplane where the kindergartners are singing along and they're like, I like pleasure spiked with pain. Don't have a kindergartner singing that. This has Warped on it. This has My Friends. Those were the big hits. This has that Tearjerker salute to Kurt Cobain on here. Didn't do nearly as well as Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Kind of considered a kind of a downturn for a while with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But this has a really weird song on here by Flea, and it's called P, like P-E-A, like a little P. And he's like, oh, you're so tough and big and bad. I'm sure you can kick my ass. So what? Just in case there's any young people watching, like they're still in high school, junior high, don't ever say that to a bully. You're going to get your ass kicked. At least where I'm coming from. You know, when I went to high school in Granite City, Steel Town, town that used to have 3 different steel mills in it, you get your ass kicked anyway, but you get your ass kicked harder talking like that to a bully. I never understood the kids, because I'm pretty proud of myself. I made it all the way through high school. I never got shoved in a locker. I never got like a wedgie. I never got a wet willy. I never got beat up. I never got stabbed. I mean, not even once. I didn't get stabbed one time. And I went to Granite City High School in the 80s. Not once. I'm pretty proud of that. But, you know, it's a pretty big high school, so it had 2 levels, right? He's just sliding down the jukebox. Had 2 levels. So what you do is you find out where the bullies hang out, and you just go up the stairs when you're going to classes, and you go back down the stairs, and then you avoid the bullies, right? And there were kids that wouldn't do that. They would just walk right past. Or they would, like, go to the restroom. You don't go to a restroom until you're a junior. Everybody knows that, right? Okay. Common sense. But these like freshmen would be going into the restroom. No, you got to be preemptive, man. You got to make sure that before you leave the house, you know, you've completely evacuated your body. You don't want to be going to the restroom in high school when you're a freshman or a sophomore. You're just going to get your ass kicked. And that's probably by a teacher, you know. So don't do that. Go at home. Or if it's an emergency, just find a bush or something. Ask yourself to be excused during class if it's an emergency, but do not use the restroom. You know, that was just common sense. You don't go into a restroom where you're just going to get your ass kicked because now nobody can see what's going on. So yeah, just little things you had to learn like that. St. Patrick's Day, I used to write myself a note before you know, the next day or whatever, say wear green. Because if you didn't wear green, I mean, I guess in some schools you got pinched, and some harsher schools, you got your foot stepped on or something like that. You didn't wear green on St. Patrick's Day in my school. You got punched right in the fucking face. So it's like, you know, there was no clowning around. And I'm not saying that I went to school with a lot of proud Irish people or anything. I went to school just, you know, normal, you know, a mix of people or whatever. But you just get punched right in the face or in the back of the head or, you know, hit with a baseball bat or something like that. And, you know, you couldn't go to the teacher because then the teacher would be like, were you wearing green? Well, no. Well, duh. So, yeah, you got to wear green and you got to think ahead, man. Leave yourself a note. You know, wear green tomorrow. How simple could that be? But there were people that just would not do that. And, yeah, it didn't turn out well for them. So if I had kids, that would be the kind of advice that I would give them. This is not coming off easy. This is one of those Walmart ones that I totally took the cap off and forgot to shake again. Yeah, I wanted to get some real generic ones in here too to see how they stack up. This is Melinda's extra hot jalapeno, or is that habanero? But this has I looked up the Scoville rating for all of these. This is delicious, by the way. And this is weird because it said like 50,000 to 200,000. So it's like Scoville rating is not a range. And I could not find out the real one for this or this one, this next one. So we're going blind on this. Oh, Jesus. It's somewhere between 50,000 and 200,000. So we'll find out. Melinda's extra hot. Oh, this has got a little cap thing on it, and it's very thick, so it's not really wanting to come out here. This is like one of those like ones you got to shake, like Tabasco. There we go. Okay, there we go. It's on there. I'm gonna eat the whole thing too. I'm not one of these. I thought the Kate Blanchett one where she had she didn't do chicken wings either. She did like the nugget type thing, and she like took a little bite. No, eat the whole thing. Come on now. Let me try a little more of that. I didn't really get a flavor for that. I'm going to say Melinda goes more in the 50,000 range, not so much in the 200,000 range. The Commodores, hot off the tracks, man. This is like their third or fourth album. This is great. There's a lot of funk on here. Dancer, Fancy Dancer was one of the singles on here. Great stuff on here. One of those ones you can kind of listen to all the way through. Not super funky. Not like a funkadelic type thing or whatever, but it's nice. And they got that song Just to Be Close to You on here. You hear that, you realize these guys are from the Deep South. Make no mistake. That Lionel Richie comes on with his spoken word part and goes, you know, I found myself preoccupied with my pearl thing. You know, and he starts talking like that. It is incredible. I love it. Just to Be Close to You. It's a ballad, actually. And besides all the talking parts like that, it's got great piano in there. It really gives you an idea of where Lionel Richie would be going. Because he could write some ballads, man. He wrote ballads for other people, of course. You know, Kenny Rogers and, you know, country ballads. Because they're from the country, right? So, Commodores, hot on the tracks, man. They got a lot. You check out their early albums, man. They got some great stuff. Their Machine Gun album is pretty great too. They start getting more R&B, more adult contemporary with some of their later stuff. But those early Commodores, man, they cannot be beat. Another honorable mention here, Heatwave, Too Hot to Handle. I'm gonna have a drink. I'm gonna have a drink to cleanse the palate so I can tell the difference between these, because I really didn't taste much of that at all. It really doesn't have a taste. Too Hot to Handle from Heatwave, man. Great band. They got like one of those bands with like 8 members. Got that slow song on here, Always and Forever. Got Boogie Nights, the song on here. Boogie Nights, oh, Boogie Nights. Boof, boof, boof. Love that song. Melting Record. A lot of vinyl record collectors will collect albums just because they have a record on the title or on the cover. So this is one of them. I don't want to trigger vinyl people with a melting record, because we all know that that's not a cool thing. But I found the best way to handle warped records. You know, people are putting them in ovens and stuff like that. I found what works is, it takes a lot of time, but you just stick it under your other records, like in the shelves. You just stick it on the bottom there and stick all the records on top of it. And you wait about 1 or 2 years, and then it's not warped anymore. So that's how I do my, that's how I solve my warped record problems. Oh, this comes off easy. Great. And I forgot to shake it again. Should have put a sign back there that said, shake it. Shake it, baby. Shake it all you can tonight. This is Smokin' Marie's, this is Smokin' Marie, I guess. This is, what's her name here? Marie Sharp's Smokin' Marie. And this is another one from Walmart. And this is another one with a little thing on the top there. And by the way, yes, I do have Da Bomb. Just in case you're wondering, we will get to Da Bomb. Okay, Smokin' Marie's. Man, come on now. Yeah, this is like Tabasco type stuff here. Maybe you're not supposed to put so much on here. That's why it comes out so slow. This is really red. Very, very red. Weird. Weird taste. This is another one, like I said about that one, where the Scoville rating is like 50,000 to 250,000. It's like, well, which one is it? Okay, that's a creeper. It's creeping up. Oh, wow. It doesn't get you at first, but it gets you. Yeah, I like this. This not so much. This didn't have a lot of flavor. And I'm going to try to put the lid on that real quick. Get rid of that. So far, my 2 favorites. Oh, wow. That's creeping. I like this. You can get this at Walmart, like I said, or Target or whatever. Nice. So like I said, I'm Robert Fithen, doing some hot sauce, doing some hot albums. Okay. Isaac Hayes, Hot Buttered Soul, man. It's only got 4 tracks on it too, just like the James Brown Hot Pants. Ooh, that's creeping. That's good stuff right there. Hot Buttered Soul from Isaac Hayes, chef from South Park, if you don't know. That's what he looks like. 4 tracks. Side 1's great. Side 2, not so much. But good stuff on here. He does, by the time I get to Phoenix, like a 20-minute version of that with a lot of talking. You probably don't want to do that one. But his Walk On By is pretty cool. Got some horns in the beginning, but then it gets real funky with like a nice fuzz guitar, and it just gets real funky. And then the second track on there, which I'll leave you to pronounce, super funky as well. This is one of those albums, if you know the Stax record story, where they basically made a handshake deal with Atlantic Records, saying, you know, you can distribute some of our stuff to get us better distribution. We'll do your Sam and Dave. You know, it's kind of a back and forth, you know, handshake thing. You know, one hand wash the other. Don't ever make handshake deals in the music industry. 1969 came along, or maybe 68, and Atlantic said, okay, we own all your stuff. Fuck it. And they gutted Stax Records and took their entire back catalog. So Stax Records now basically doesn't exist. So what Al Bell did, the main guy from Stax Records, is he got all of his artists to immediately record albums, put out like 27 albums the same month, put out like a bunch of singles, and basically just tried to restock or, you know, rebuild Stax from the bottom up with just a blitz. I mean, just everybody working overtime. Isaac Hayes was a great songwriter, worked with David Porter, wrote a bunch of soul hits, you know, for like people like Sam and Dave and whatever. And he didn't write anything on here though. And he's too busy recording and arranging and producing and whatever. And this is one of the most popular albums to come out of that blitz of albums that they came out with. If you want to check out a story on Stax, the Stax Story is the name of the documentary. Really interesting stuff. I'm just going to eat one of these and kind of cleanse my palate. Okay. Oh, I haven't been doing. So we're done with Marie. Uh-oh. We're going up to 103. 100,000 Scoville rating with this Cosmic Disco. Oh, shake it up. Oh, man. And, oh, there we go. Oh, no lid on this one. Almost spilt it. Cosmic Disco. Okay. Whoa, this looks like trouble. We'll be talking about some disco here too. Here, I put a lot on it. Oh, that's hot. It's hot, but it's good. Okay, disco. I was about Chicago going disco. Here's where Queen went disco. I'm going to keep checking my mic to make sure all this is still working. I don't want to do all this in vain. Hot Space from Queen. If you watch Bohemian Rhapsody, you know how a lot of stuff in that didn't happen in the right timeline. They moved all kinds of stuff around and whatever. Another One Bites the Dust is not on here. That is not breaking into their disco album or their dance album like they said. This is their dance album. And it does not have Another One Bites the Dust. That's on the Game, the album before this. It has a lot of rock songs on there. Oh my God. Hot Space was kind of a failure for these guys, and it was kind of clowned when it first came out. Like, what in the hell are they doing? A bunch of dance music. These are the guys that brought you We Will Rock You and, you know, hard stuff, Fat Bottom Girls and stuff like that. What are they doing? You know, Tie Your Mother Down. Death on Two Legs. Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, they're coming out with a dance album. That's what they're doing in 1982. And it took a lot of people by surprise. It got critically panned. It didn't do very well at all. But I listened to it yesterday, and, you know, it's not too bad. If you kind of take it for what it is, if you kind of know what to expect, you're not going in expecting a night at the opera or a day at the races or duck soup or some Marx Brothers reference. Anyway, if you're not expecting the classic Queen sound and you take it on its own merit, it's not too bad. Under Pressure is on here, but it's really weird. It's one of the few times that a song was released on a greatest hits compilation and then later put on a studio album. That's Under Pressure. It came out on greatest hits first, and then it was later put on this Hot Space from Queen. Disco. Cosmic Disco. Whoa. Here's some more disco. Peaches and Herb, featuring the second Peaches. There's some disco on here. Shake Your Groove Thing. Shake Your Groove Thing. Yeah, yeah. The album's called Too Hot. Like that disco is too hot. I better run for shelter. Better run for shade. That's Cool in the Gang. Cool, doing Too Hot. Like White Hot has the winter song. Like White Zombie did Black Sunshine. Like Neil Young did Old Man. Anyway, this also has some slowed down disco, the ballad Reunited. And it feels so good. You know, like these taste really good. That disco. I like this. It's my 3 favorites so far. Peaches and Herb. Maybe you just want a bunch of disco. You can go K-Tel with Hot Nights and City Lights. Man, this got some hits on here. I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor, man. Heart of Glass from Blondie, back when it was considered a disco song. You say that now, somebody slap you. All kinds of, In the Navy from the Village People. Boogie Woogie Dancing Shoes from Claudia Berry's on here. I don't know if it's right from Evelyn Champagne King. Man, this is loaded. And it says non-stop disco hits too. So this isn't too bad because they only got like 7 songs on each side. So it's not that compressed. But the thing about this one is it's non-stop. So they edited them all together. And it is some of the sloppiest. I mean, they just took a tape and spliced it. There's no like mixing or anything like that. None of that going on. We're talking tape splices, and it's kind of crude. But yeah, Hot Nights and City Lights to keep the party going. And then every once in a while to make somebody turn around and go, "What the hell happened to the song? What? Okay, we switched songs." Yeah, it's not very smooth at all. Whew. Okay, The Killers, man. How could we forget about Hot Fuzz? Almost forgot about Hot Fuzz. From The Killers, man. Speaking, it wasn't disco, but man, this thing was on dance floors. This thing was on modern rock radio. It was on pop radio. I'm surprised this thing wasn't on country radio. I don't know. Smile Like You Mean It, Mr. Brightside, you know, all those things. I mean, it's got a lot of hits on here. It was huge when this came out. What was this, 2004? These guys came out of the box with this, and I don't think they ever duplicated the sound of this. But man, what a great album from The Killers. Hot Fuzz. Fuss. I keep wanting to say Hot Fuzz. It's a movie. Okay, I'm delaying the bomb here. I know I'm putting it off. The bomb has 135,000 Scoville rating. Okay. Woo. Man, that is thick. And that is so red, it is almost brown. I dumped that on there. Look at that, man. I don't know, man. Here we go. This is the bomb. This is the one if you've seen on the show where people freak out. I'll put that shit right on my tongue too. Damn it. Oh. No. Oh my God. Oh. Fucking battery acid. That is not. Let's do some honorable mentions. Kicks Hotwire. 1991 metal. I gotta have some water. Hell no. Oh. I did too much. Kicks Hotwire, 91. Same, I'm crying now. Same Jane. Sounds like a liar, pants on fire. Bands like this really took a downturn in the 90s. Get like blow your fuse, man. Don't get Hotwire. Girlaholic was another one. I also mention Frank Zappa, Hot Rats. Because if I didn't mention that, somebody put, what about Hot Rats from Frank Zappa? Okay, fuck it, I mentioned that. Fine, we're moving on. Hot Cargo from the Rugbies. Great psychedelic. More of a garage band, really, than psychedelic, but they're called psychedelic. Out of Louisville, Kentucky. Part of the Shelby Singleton production. God damn. Look at this. I'm crying. I didn't even cry at my father's funeral. Oh my God. He did a lot of country. As far as production, he had his own labels. And this was on the Amazon label. Very cool label design. But his big thing was Harper Valley PTA. Man, that's not messing around. And that is not flavorful. Oh, I don't like milk, by the way. I'm one of those weird people. I don't like drinking milk at all. And never have, even since I've been a child. But I put it on cereal. And I like ice cream, but I don't like milk. Oh my God. Whoa. That is the bomb, man. That is more like what I call... Oh, shit. Come on, man. It's getting worse. It's like competition sauce. There's no flavor there. It's just like something you want to do when you want to prove you're a badass. Oh. But the Rugby's Hot Cargo. Great garage rock. A little bit of psychedelic with the lyrics, but not a lot of psychedelic sound. It's got a garage rock sound. I'm sweating now. Come on, man. Johnny Cash with his hot and blue guitar, man. This is where a lot of it started for him. 1957. Great studio album from him. It's got the original studio version of Folsom Prison Blues, where whoever came out with this ought to be. Walk the Lines on there. Heard That Lonesome Whistle Blow, Hank Williams cover. Cry, Cry, Cry is on there. So loaded with hits. A great introduction to even the belching hurts to Johnny Cash. Man, come on. Okay, enough of the bomb. Beyond Insanity. Okay, we're going from 135,000 to 150,000 with Last Dab Apollo. Now this is either 150,000 or 2.5 million. Now, 2.5 million, there's a little bit of confusion going on. That is the Scoville rating of the raw pepper going in here. And I did do the lollipop challenge. I did do the hottest lollipop, the Satan's toe thing. That's on another video a long time ago. I did that years ago. It was one of my really early videos. So you could check that out. Speaking of Red Hot Chili Peppers earlier, I did recite Red Hot Chili Peppers Give It Away lyrics. That was the goal. The real goal is just to keep it in your mouth for 5 minutes. But, you know, I always got to overdo things. Oh, come on, man. This is going to be torture. Last Dab Apollo, because it is a last dab. This is the actual hot ones, like the, you know, like these two and the bomb. Okay. Here goes. Oh, whoa. That is not red. That is brown. That is a golden brown. God damn it, I'm going to regret this. Huh. I like it. Not too bad. Got a flavor. Got a flavor. But it's hot. Oh. Creeping. It's creeping. Fuck it. It's hotter than July. Stevie Wonder, man. Love the gatefold on there with the lyrics. That's a nice artwork. This is underrated, man. Everybody's always talking about Talking Book and Songs of the Key of Life and Music of My Mind. Those are great albums. Those are incredible albums, and they should be acclaimed because, you know, they're awesome. But this one gets overlooked, and I think this is great too. This is from 1980. This is like his 19th album, for God's sakes. Great songs on here, like you say you love me and All I Do, and great songs. A lot of different sounds on here, like 1980. So there's a little bit of disco creeping in with like the clip cymbals and the 4-on-the-floor beats and stuff like that. Doesn't have a lot of the deep funk. It's got a lot of more of a dance kind of feel to it. It's got a lot of different sounds on here. It's got a steel guitar from Hank DeVito on one of the songs in here. Michael Jackson doing the vocal backup, like what's this called? Do La View. Michael Jackson's on there doing backup. So is Betty Wright. So is Eddie Levert. So some special guests. But Stevie Wonder, don't overlook this, man. This is a great album. It doesn't get the accolades it deserves, man. It gets overlooked. Oh, whoa! I just floated. Hotter Than July, man. From Stevie Wonder. We got a last dab. Woo! We got a last album. Oh. What could be hotter than July? Hell. Hotter Than Hell, Kiss's second album. That's what we're wrapping things up with. Sonically, probably their worst album, right? But it's great because it's the great songs in here. Hotter Than Hell, the song, is a moral song. It's all about not wanting to have sex because you're married. Who knew from Kiss? Got to Choose is on here. Oh, Let Me Go Rock and Roll. I mean, just a lot of great songs on here. Their second album, I like their first album better. Their first album is my favorite Kiss album. Second one's pretty good. They probably could have a little better sonic quality on here. But the artwork took place while they were all drunk, and the women started just getting naked. Everybody starts getting naked, and they started shooting photos, man, except for Ace. He's just kind of sitting there, man. Whew! Hotter Than Hell, man. That's a great way to wrap things up. Oh. They remastered this, and it didn't do too much for the sound quality, so just get the vinyl. You're like, hey, man, you forgot Hot in the Shade. You're right, I did. I think a lot of people want to forget Hot in the Shade. It's got that Michael Bolton song on there, Forever. It gave him a big hit, and I think it went to number 2 on the charts. But the hits, Kiss has weird because their hit singles never really... I'm eating the crunchies now. Never really define who they are. Their biggest hit was Beth. Their second biggest hit is that Forever song, so it's very strange. But yeah, rock and roll with Kiss, man. Hotter Than Hell. Going Blind is on that Hotter Than Hell album, where Gene Simmons is having sex with a 16-year-old, like Christine's 16. But in this one, or he's dating her. Let's say he's dating her. He's 103, so there's a little bit of an age gap. Oh, I almost blew my nose right into the sauce I wiped. Last Stab's got some flavor, man, but it's got some heat. This is ridiculous. This is the bomb. It's just competition, man. That's all that's for. There's no taste of that whatsoever. And I don't know about Scoville ratings. I just know about what I just tasted. And as far as I'm concerned, that should be the order. That should be the order. That is much more of an assault than this. This might have a higher Scoville rating or whatevs, but this is a fucking full-on assault. Give this to somebody you don't like. Strictly competition. There's nothing flavorful. These are getting room temperature and kind of gross. There's nothing flavorful about that. All right, I did them. I did the hot ones thing. I was going to get the Sean Evans candle. We'll just virtually put it there. It was a little creepy. So I decided not to get it. But check out Hot Ones. The videos where they have celebrities on there. I mean, all kinds of celebrities doing this challenge. I'm sure you've seen it. If you're watching my dumbass video, of course you've seen the real thing. Props to Sean Evans for doing this shit like, I don't know, every other week or twice a month or however often he does this. I don't know, man. That guy must have the gut of a horse or something. I don't know, man. Of a rhino. Damn. Woo! Okay. I'm Robert Fitz, and thanks for watching. Please consider liking the video, because I just did the bomb for you. Least you could do is click that like, man. Helps with the algorithm. You can subscribe if you want to. Consider it. You don't have to do the subscription bell. That's silly. But yeah, that's it, man. I went through all my hot albums. And I I hope you enjoyed it. I got some favorites here. My favorites. Las Caliento. This one from Walmart surprised me. Smoke and Marie. Pretty good. Cosmic Disco. Really hot, but not too bad. And this one, if you want something super, super hot, but you want a little flavor in there, Last Stab Apollo. It's pretty good too. But fuck this, man. This is something. This isn't. I don't know what the hell I did. I'm gonna throw this away. And this is expensive too, man. That's what sucked about that. This is more expensive than any other ones. Okay, thanks again for watching. Thanks to all the great creators out there doing hot wings challenges, hot socks challenges, vinyl community videos. If you don't watch those and you are watching because you found me because of the hot sauce stuff, check out some of the vinyl community videos from all people all over the world sharing their record collections, their music collections, CDs, whatever, music they love. A lot of interesting people in the world, and I made some great connections with people all over the world. That's what I love about it the most. Okay, I'm done. I'm out. Thanks again for watching, man. Woo! Damn. Son of a bitch.